Hello and welcome back to day number 66 of my road to 200 kilogram total. Now for today, I am coming back from a pretty grueling bike ride yesterday. So by grueling I mean it was kind of long. I was taking it easy, but 25 kilometers in about an hour on a heavy ass mountain bike, it's kind of out there, and yeah, it was pretty heavy. Kept eating yesterday, so I'd assume that recovery was not gonna be that much of a problem, because when I woke up this morning I was still like 73, and I ate a lot of food yesterday. So anyways, back to today's video. So it's a snatch day plus front squat day. A little worried about the weight for the front squat, but I was immensely up for it. I was up for it way more than back squats. So it's the same weight as from the previous video at 110, but you can see, as you'll see later, yeah, it's pretty easy. Front squatting, that is easy. Anyway, so continuing on with my warm up, I'm actually doing these for 10s instead of 5s. I don't know, it felt better to do 10 than 5, because 5 feels good, but 10 just makes me feel better warmed up. So here's my snatch warm up, focusing a lot on that speed. Ooh, very good speed. To improve sorry for the long pause, but to improve more on the snatch, I think it's really more of for me personally, I think it's because I haven't been doing heavy pulls lately, so I think that's affected how the snatches feel off the floor. Because I feel like if you were to make me hang snatch that, like just from the hip level or even knees, I'm pretty sure I can hang snatch my best at 80. So I think it's more of a pulling issue rather than a... But then again, I am pretty weak in general. So speaking of recovery, because I've been doing a lot more of the I've made Lou raises and pull-ups as part of my daily routine. Even though it's only been 2 days, I can actually feel my back feels a lot better, feels stronger. Even my shoulders feel a lot stronger. They feel a lot better. And you'll see later what I mean by shoulders better, because as you can tell from the title of the video, I set a new PR for my strict press at 5 RM, and I consider it a PR, like a true PR, because the last time I did 60 for 5, I was 80 kilos. So to be able to match that again, albeit I did as you'll see later, that 60 for 5 is a lot slower, and it's definitely grindier than my 60 from when I was an 80 kilo lifter. But I'm still proud of it. If you put that into a rep max calculator, that brings up my strict press to about 70, which is funny because after I did that 60 kilogram 5 RM PR, I tried to do 65 just try to hit maybe 3, because that's the weight I was supposed to do today. 65 for 4 sets of 5 plus 8. I knew 65 was definitely easy for the Pendlay row. The shoulder press though, it's really iffy that if I was gonna be able to do that, and I failed it. And I wasn't able to record it either. Well, actually no, I did record it. I ended up deleting it by accident, but I still have the 60 kilogram one. And what I'm doing now to offset, like if I can't do the lift, if I can't do the exercise at the proper weight, I would usually scale that back down to a lighter weight and try to fill it out via tonnage. Now, what is tonnage? When you're trying to progress, and in how I'm progressing a lot of my I can't say lifters, but a lot of my clients is that total tonnage has to increase. So it's not just on volume. You can't increase volume if you're keeping the same weight, because when you multiply the weight or the intensity times the volume or the amount of reps, then that is your total tonnage. So to offset my tonnage for missing 65 for 5, that's 1,650 kilos in terms of tonnage. I counted as 60 for 5, so 60 times 5, it's 60 times 5, oh my god, my math, 300, and I did 55 for as many reps as I could, just to fill, and then 52 sets at 52.5 for 5, and then 50 kilos. I just needed to hit that total tonnage of 1,650. Now for the non-sports science people that don't understand, I'm sorry, but basically when you look at tonnage, that's basically the amount of work that you did in the session. And if you can't hit that tonnage if I couldn't hit that tonnage via the actual weight plus actual reps that you're supposed to do it, I instead opted for increasing the volume and lowering the weight, and that evens out the tonnage. Now I'm not sure if Fitz will allow that, because he still hasn't come back to my question on it. But I think to progress forward, instead of cutting it off there and then saying, oh, I missed it, I'll do it next time. No, I'm forcing myself to get stronger. And speaking of forcing myself to get stronger, this is gonna be one of the craziest jumps I've ever done, especially for the front squat. So I started with 40 kilos, then 70 kilos for 5, and you'll see in a bit. After that 70, as something that I did to not really fix, but to put a lot more emphasis on my quads, I have adopted a much closer leg distance, and really focusing on that knee drive forward, instead of keeping my knees out and doing sort of like how Toshiki would back squat. And yeah, this really focused a lot on my quads. I felt it in my quads, and it's kind of weird that I didn't feel it in my glutes at all, but I think that's maybe just a personal mind muscle connection thing. But putting all that weight on the quads, actually these 110s look a lot better than my 107.5 that I did last week, and even though it's just for a double, it's still pretty good. Now here's a little cheeky editing that I did. I'm kind of proud of this one. So yeah, here's my 60 kilo 5 RM. I honestly wanted to quit at 4, but I told myself, come on, I need to hit the 5, hit the 5. Oh, there we go, beautiful. And then for the pendlay row, this is still part of a warm up to the weight, just to accumulate more volume. But since I couldn't do 65, I ended up just doing 65 with the pendlay rows anyway. I did those sets by myself. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. Subscribe for more, and see you in the next video. Bye.